runner podcast.
Yeah. Do I ever remember that on here? I feel like we talk about anything and everything unfiltered.
I know. I love when people are like, this is TMI. We're like, no such thing.
There's no topic off limits. We're going to talk about it all.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about it
I'm sorry
all.
when like everybody in your family has been inside of you and has seen outside of you. Like there is no off-topic. There's no off-topic limits, right?
You're right, Shanna. They have seen it all, so you can talk about it all. I agree. 100%.
I agree.
Way of putting that. My goodness. I don't think even I've said anything that unhinged yet.
I don't know. Pepperoni Nipples is up there.
She's pregnant. She can say whatever she wants.
No, it's definitely true.
They're like, she's crazy. True. We already mute her out half the time.
Oh my God. Honestly, it's a really good thing that I'm not pregnant because I unfortunately divulge all of my pregnancy dreams, no matter what they are. And they're always awful. And I'm always like, I haven't heard from that person in forever. And then I'm like, it's because I was telling them my dreams. And
well, like you just like dump all of this information on them. And they're like,
yeah,
wow, I was asking how you were doing. I didn't want like the full like your whole dreams and like all the things.
Yeah,
that,
you know how
pregnancy
dreams are like so vivid too.
Yes.
I'm like,
they are.
Yeah,
they feel like you're on a trip or something for sure. You're like, whoa,
yeah,
what's going on here?
Already an overshare. Oh my gosh. Well, okay. I'll get into it. Well, welcome to the Miles with Moms podcast, a podcast for moms chasing goals through all seasons of life. I'm Olivia.
I'm Shanna.
And we have a guest today.
Hi, I'm Mel.
And we are bringing training tips, mom and expert interviews, and the kind of best friend banter that makes you feel like you're on a run with us. Whether it's your first 5K, your next marathon, or a stroller tempo, we've got your miles and your sanity. And we do appreciate if you can rate, subscribe, share our podcast with another fellow mama. Well, we've only been on for 13 minutes, like pre-show, and then this, and my cheeks are already hurting.
Yeah, buckle up, baby. We got a long one.
I know, we're ready.
I feel like Mel's gonna be having us laughing the whole time. This might be an hour 30 recording.
Let's go. Listen, the kids aren't here. The moms are.
Yeah, that is so true.
Bye.
Yeah, peace. That's like my favorite is when you get to open that door. You're like, see ya.
Have a great time. Exactly.
See you this afternoon. Okay, so I have the Everyday Heroes shout out. It was submitted by Andrea. Her handle on Instagram is Savage Stroller Mama ×3. And this fits this girl because holy crap, this chick, if I saw her out there, she would be thinking I was chump change after watching Olivia push my toddler in a single stroller. All right. So she says, I started stroller running with the stroller when my oldest was born, and it just escalated from there. When I had my second son, I was running so much, I decided to do an unofficial marathon through the local neighborhood, you guys.
Oh my gosh.
And she did that in 2023. And then with a double stroller in under 4 hours.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
She said, then I kind of chilled, got pregnant. And I'm curious what she means by kind of chilled. Did she go back to like a single stroller? I'm like,
like, I just won't do 26.2 through the neighborhood today.
Right. No big deal.
She's like, then I kind of chilled, got pregnant with my daughter and last baby. While I was pregnant with her, I was determined to find a stroller I could run with all my kids and found the baby jogger. It was a discontinued model, so I stocked secondhand sites for months, and this one finally landed in my lap. My brother, so it's a triple stroller, just so anybody that's listening.
Wow, that's awesome.
She said, my brother peer pressured me to run the Marine Corps marathon with him in October, so I trained all year with the triple stroller. Things were going great until I tried a new running shoe and got plantar fasciitis. I got a cortisone shot in September, and it wore off at mile 16 of my marathon. I was still able to Boston qualify by the skin of my teeth, but was on track for a much faster finish. But yeah, that's my story.
No big deal. Wow.
The end is
Amazing.
so insane.
It's just like, what a badass. I'm sorry. Like, every time I hear these other moms roll in, I don't even care what marathon time you run. If you're running a marathon, if you're pregnant, if you push strollers, I'm just like, wow, you guys
I
are
know.
amazing.
It's
A triple
insane.
stroller too. That is so impressive. Like,
That's
Yeah.
insane.
major kudos.
Yeah. I can honestly say I don't think I've ever actually seen one out. Like,
Yeah.
I know that I would
Exactly.
probably stop someone and ask about it if
Like, where'd
I
you
feel
get
like,
that from?
yeah,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what's going on there? I mean, like, I'd have to know more about that person too to be like, you know what, I'm gonna put all three of them and go for a run,
I
because I
know.
just that's so impressive. It's wild to even think I've never done a double digit run, I don't think even with a double stroller that I can think
Yeah.
of.
Same.
I don't think I
Yeah,
have.
so
I don't think I have
that's
either.
yeah, that's wild. I mean, because it's over an
Yeah.
hour and then like entertaining two kids for that amount of time it would be a lot. I mean, my kids would be fighting. I know that. Like,
100%.
yeah.
A lot
Yeah.
of fighting.
I'm
And you're
pretty
just
sure,
resting.
like, my kids would just be chucking stuff at me as we're running, and I'd just be like, hope that I don't break an ankle along the way.
Oh
I
my
took my
gosh.
twins out one time in a double stroller a few times, and that was a story to tell. Like, they were just throwing
Oh
their
my gosh.
toys, having a blast, dropping blankets. I was like, I'm never f***ing doing this again.
That is so true. It really does test your patience because, like, a couple days ago, I went on a stroller run and I was like, I am never doing this again.
Yeah.
The next day, we did it again. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's just one of those things like, all right, get back in. I mean, you pissed me off last night, but we're going to have to do it again, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so
It's
true.
so true. So
Oh my
true.
gosh. Yeah. I know I sold my double stroller and it was such a bittersweet moment, but I also knew that we were done with it cuz also my son is pretty big and my kids they're dense. I don't know. They don't like look really big, but when you pick them up they're pretty heavy. And so
Yeah.
pushing my 5-year-old like he was just getting so big for it and yeah, so I am just like whenever I can single strollering it. But whatever this is right now that I have with almost 4 is, like, the sweet spot, like, she can just hang out or
Oh,
yesterday I
that's
pushed
awesome.
Shanna's almost 4-year-old,
Yeah.
and she's already the most chill kid, like, I swear she was just like, "Oh, this is nice," like,
Yeah,
she's
that's the
just
best
so
thing.
easy, so yeah, if they're entertained, it's easier to, like, feel more at peace with doing it, you know? So,
It's
yeah.
so true. It definitely depends on their temperament for the day because it's like, ooh,
Yeah.
this might be a really short one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For your own sanity.
Short on patience and in time.
Yep. Exactly.
It is so true. Oh my gosh. Well, how are you guys doing?
How are you doing, Mel? What does your week look like this week?
Dude, we finally got some snow up here. So I'm currently
What?
looking outside and it's sticking. I'm like, it's been snowing everywhere in the country except Utah,
Yeah.
I feel like. I'm
I
like,
know. It's crazy.
now my kids are like, we want a snow day, we want to go sled. And I'm like, trying to mentally prepare for that because
It's
that's
a
a
lot.
thing in itself. But it's been good. It's been good. How about you guys?
That's awesome.
Yeah, sledding takes like a whole like half day just getting them dressed, I swear.
Right?
Yep.
And then they like some of them will like at least some of my kids, they'll throw a fit about being cold or their hands getting cold. And they'll be like, I'm over this like 10 minutes in. You're like, I just spent freaking 40 minutes getting you in that gear. You're gonna go down two more
Yeah.
times.
No, for sure. It's like 30 minutes to get dressed, 5 minutes outside, and then it's like, I'm
Yeah.
cold. It's like, wow, well, you go spend some more time out there. Make it worth it, okay?
Oh my
So
gosh.
true. Is we're pretty spoiled. I hate like talking about winter because I'm like
I know.
don't
I'm just
judge
gonna
me
run
in
in my shorts over
sports
here.
yeah, don't judge me in my sports bra, okay?
So true.
I can just feel the glares of people on social media. They're like, "Where do you live? How
Some
are
are
you in
really
a
nice.
sports bra?" I'm like, "Hey, you'll see me complaining during the summertime, okay? Let
No,
us
that's
have our
totally
few
fair.
It's so
Oh,
true.
man.
Mel, I think I'm gonna go right into your bio. we did go over your name pronunciation, so if I'm gonna butcher it, I'm so sorry. No, I'm just kidding, you can just correct me. So, we've got Mel Mills, and her whole name is Meleane, right?
You did it. Yeah, you got it. Meliane.
Okay, perfect.
Her
Um
handle.
Um, let's hopefully I don't butcher where you're from. But so she does go by Mel. She is a 34-year-old mom of two boys, Max and Leo, a first generation Tongan American. Born and raised in Laie,
Laia. Mhm.
Lahaina, Hawaii, her family eventually moved to Utah in search of greater opportunity. Growing up, Mel didn't play any sports and always saw herself more as a bookworm and creative. She met her husband Benj in college at the University of Utah, and together they've built a life rooted in faith, family, and resilience. As an interracial couple, they've navigated cultural differences and adversity, and over the past 9 years have moved across several states while Benj pursued law school and his career as an attorney. Mel is now a stay at home mom with photography remaining a creative passion that she returns to along the way. Mel's running journey began in 2024 during a difficult season of postpartum depression. What started as a way to cope and heal quickly became a powerful source of strength, confidence, and joy. In just 1 year, she went from training for her first 5K to completing 9 races, including her first marathon, an experience that deeply changed her perspective on what she's capable of. Through running, Mel has found community, purpose, and a new way to challenge stereotypes, especially around who gets to belong in the running world. She shares her journey as a creative outlet, hoping to inspire other moms, Polynesian women, and anyone struggling with mental health to believe that movement can be medicine and that it's never too late to become strong again. Amazing. Amazing.
Oh,
I feel
thank
like
you.
reading that, it's so relatable. Just, we've talked a lot about just representation and how much that matters, and like
Yeah.
even what we can do just with our podcast, it's hard because we need diversity on it, and how to achieve that is like obviously putting representation out, but like how do we provide that, right? Like we have a platform to do it. And so I'm really excited for you to just be able to kind of just talk about what that's looked like for you on your platform.
Well, I
Yeah.
definitely appreciate you guys bringing me on. I think you guys have created such a great space, which allows women to like be able to have these conversations and connect across many different ways. Like runners come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. And I'm just really excited to be here with you too. I think you guys are both really great role models, and being able to have this channel and have that voice is like a really important thing. So thank you.
Yeah, we're excited to have you on. Um, do you want to jump into questions, Shanna? Do you have
Yeah. I mean, I have I have so many questions. I mean, just regarding to like your interracial marriage and what that blend looks like culturally, like moving to Utah from Hawaii, like that's such a totally different like world too. But I guess we'll start it off. Like there's a part in your original bio that you sent to us that hit me really hard in my own way. Obviously, not from like a cultural setting, but just I feel like there's a sense of like feeling like you don't belong. And I feel like a lot of runners resonate with that in their own way. But yours was very, very, it hit me really, really hard when I read that. You shared a lot about like how like your life was shaped and you felt like you never really fit into one box. And I think that that came from the fact that you moved here to Utah at a young age, I think is what it was. Mixing into all that, and then also being married into an racial marriage. I'm just curious, like now where you're at currently, like what are some of those feelings that you were navigating through your childhood and up until this point? And how are you kind of like able to work through that as an adult now?
Yeah, as a young person, it was very challenging because I think as humans, we definitely want to feel like we belong, we want to connect. And excuse me, you know, as I as for me when I was growing up, I was just there was a lot of different shifts that were happening in my life. And so it was really difficult, and trying to understand who I was as a person. A lot of times it felt confusing and a little bit isolating. And the older I've gotten, I've just become more confident in who I am as a person. So now I am comfortable being uncomfortable, if that makes sense. But it gives me like a really unique perspective, I think, when you have a lot of intersectionality and being able to see different perspectives on different worlds, different classes, races, and all those different things. It gives you a lot more empathy and like understanding of people. And so that's something that I feel like I just have really learned to lean into, especially as an adult, being able to see across like different worlds and what people are feeling and how they have more in common than they might think, you know. But yeah, it's definitely challenging. But I think there's a lot of like strength and learning that you can take from those types of experiences as well, for sure.
Definitely. I think, did you sorry, did you find community that you were able to lean on and share those experiences with, or did you feel like this was very much like a solo mission that you were on to, like, claim the identity that you are?
Sometimes, I mean, for sure now, like as a runner, you know, being able to find other runners too who also might not feel like this total sense of belonging. Like, where do I exactly fit in this picture?
Mhm.
Because there are so many different things that, you know, people might assume that is a runner. And then there's some of us who are trying to make sense of that. But yeah, there are a lot of times that it has felt like a little bit of a solo mission because we're just all so different and unique, right? And you're just going to have those moments where you kind of do feel alone. But it certainly has helped being able to find a community of people that you can share those experiences together, even if they're not completely the same, but being able to have like a good outlet where you can talk about these things. For sure. For sure. It definitely has helped.
Mhm.
Do you feel like since you've gotten into the running community, it's been about a year, right, since you
Yeah.
started? Do you feel like since starting and how you started, like, what were the feelings and emotions that you experienced when you first started running and, like, kind of bridging yourself into the running community, and where you feel now? Like, how are you able to honestly keep showing up, like, in the midst of feeling a lot of this, like, "I don't fit in, I don't hit the stereotypes," and I'm sure especially in the Polynesian world, right? Like, you probably don't feel like you fit the mold of athletes in that regard, and, like, I'm sure you probably got feedback on that, like, "Well, why do you wanna run a marathon? Why do you like to run? Why do you like to run the whole city?" Right? Like, we get those already. We get those questions and comments all the time as just everyday runners, but I'm sure culturally speaking, that was probably a lot to navigate for you as well, trying to feel like, yet again, here's another odd thing that you probably feel like you're doing that's going against, like, the margins or the barriers of, like, what are usually put in front of you. So I'm curious, like how did you continue to show up? Because you went from running a 5K to a marathon, like, in 1 year. I've ran my whole life, and it took X amount of years to finally be like, "I think I could do 26.2 miles." Like, I just am so mind blown at your sense of confidence and self-belief in yourself to put yourself out there. Like, where did that come from? Like, where did you finally gain that confidence to be like, "I can go do a marathon, like, these other people are doing it, I could go do it."
Delulu is my middle name. No, honestly, I mean, it's something that I've just really faced a lot growing up. Like, I've just kind of been like a little bit of an odd duck. Like, I was kind of a nerd. A lot of my cousins were very athletic and they were very sporty. And like, I've just kind of been used to being like on the fringe when it comes to like breaking conventional norms. And so when it came to running, I mean, it was really surprising. Surprised myself too, but not too surprising to the people who know me because that's kind of like how I'm built. It's like, oh, okay, she's trying something new, she's trying something crazy. But yeah, for sure. I mean, even now to this day, like within my own family and my community, it really is mind-boggling for a lot of Polynesians because they're just like, that is not something that we're like built for in their minds. But I'm always constantly trying to challenge that narrative because I'm like, but why do you think that? Like, why do you think you can't be a runner? Oh, is it because of your physical body type? Like, no, absolutely not. You can be a runner. Like, anyone can be a runner. You know what I mean? So I definitely get a lot of questions of like, why running? Like, girl, what are you doing? We got tarot legs. And I'm like, shoot, look, they can move. We're moving forward, and that's all that matters, you know? And I just for me, it just gives like an opportunity to talk about these things and then on a greater level, like, well, why do you think you can't do something? Like, really ask and question yourself, like, why have you imposed this ceiling? And I just, for me, it's like, yeah, I want to show other Polynesian girls, women, just you can do anything. And this is another sport that we can definitely be a part of, even if we don't see very many of us. There's space for everyone, for sure.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm curious if you've been able to bring any of your family on the bandwagon of a run, like even a 5K or a run of any sort.
I am trying my darndest. You know, this is like my life mission right now is just trying to get everyone to convert, like become a runner because I really think it's so good for people. Like people think I'm nuts when I say that. I'm like everyone should run. Um but I haven't been able to like fully convince. I convinced my husband, but like he just kind of does it cuz he has to. But he has no choice, but I am working on it. Like I have friends who are, you know, they're like non-runners and some of them are Polynesian and I'm like, "Come with me for a run." Like I'm just constantly pestering people and they're probably sick of me, honestly. They're like, "No, girl, I don't want to run." But I'm just like always trying to extend that invitation and just trying to encourage people like to try it, give it a shot. You know, they're always like, "Well, I'm not very fast." I'm like, "Neither am I." Like, we're still here though.
Yeah, and you don't have to be fast, like, that's the
Yeah.
best part, like, I love when people are like, "Hey, I'm post" like, I ran with a girl today this morning, she's 7 months postpartum, didn't run her whole pregnancy, I was like, "I've been there, and it sucks. It sucks coming back. Come join me, I'm pregnant, we could go any pace," and she did the whole freaking 5 miles. I was like, "You did that, like, you did that." And it is. It really is not a pace thing, and I wish the running world would like, especially new runners would see that, like, there is a space for you. But I love that you've created a platform, which I'm curious to hear when you started your social media. I'm pretty sure I started following you pretty early on in your journey, because it was well before the marathon era. And, I'm curious if, like, when you started your social media, what was, like, your initial, like, message or why behind starting it? And then have you been able to just have, like, conversations with new runners or runners that maybe thought the same as you, like, "I'm not a runner," and been able to encourage them through your journey?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it all started honestly with the whole postpartum depression thing. And I signed up for like this local 5K with some of our other friends. And I was kind of like hitting a little bit of a rock bottom place for me. And I was just, I don't know, it was like one day, it was like in March, and I was like, you know, I'm just going to go and try it. I'm going to go try it. And I pulled out my phone and I like started recording this little vlog. And it was just, like, really fun for me, like, having that sense of accomplishment, you know, like, being able to do something that I, you know, wasn't able to do for so long, and I started making these vlogs on my runs. There's, like, this whole excitement of, like, just trying something new, so I was, like, telling my husband, like, "I don't wanna, like, spam all of my family and friends, like, with all my, like, constant updates of, like, 'Hey, I just ran 4 miles today,' and just, like, all these things." So I went and made this, like, account. It was, like, a little bit of, like, a secret account, like, only my husband knew about, and I felt it was, like, so freeing for me because I was just like, "I'm gonna just post, like, my excitement and, like, my process of being able to learn, like, we don't have a clue what we're doing here, but we're gonna go out there and try," and then it just kind of took off from there, you know, sharing this new experience and this newfound joy that I had for running. And I think that probably just resonated with more people because it was like, "Oh, like, I'm a person new to running as well, and, like, I'm just a normal person, like, there's nothing, like, incredible about my life, you know, I'm just this regular mom out here." Um, but then that definitely gave me an avenue to be able to connect with not just new runners, but, like, even experienced people, like, Shanna was one of the first accounts that I followed, and it just opened, like, a whole new world to me, and I think people just underestimate how, like, awesome the running community is because people are, like there is, like, very helpful advice and, like, all these different information. Sometimes it's an overload, but it's very helpful when you're, you know, starting out running and being able to connect with other seasoned or more experienced runners, and I've really loved and enjoyed that aspect of social media and running.
I love that. You know what's so funny about, like, how you say you started it is I think that's so relatable for people. They're like, I made a separate account because I didn't want anybody to see it, and I don't know what it is, like, I
For
always say this,
sure.
like, if you were doing, like, crafts, literally, of course, you're gonna send everybody even, like, your photography, right? It's like, "Hey, I'm doing pictures, look at this,"
Yes.
and it's so funny how it's so different when it comes to fitness, it's like,
It's true.
"I'm gonna
It's
keep
so
this a
true.
secret," like, you know?
Yeah, and it's like,
Yeah.
let me make my cringe videos in peace over
Yeah.
here. I don't need you guys, which is funny because really and truthfully, like people do want to support you, but like I don't know what it is. Like for me, I'm just like so shy. I'm like, please.
Yeah.
You're like,
Like, oh,
"Please
I saw
don't
your
log
account. I'm like, no,
on
you
Facebook."
didn't. No, you didn't.
Yeah, that's I know. It's so funny, like, if I'm editing a video, like, I don't want my husband to hear my voiceover, but, like,
Right.
also, you didn't like my pose? Like, that's so
Right. Like,
listen to it.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting for you to
Yeah.
like this post too. Don't be a
Yeah,
hater. No, for
it's so
sure.
funny, and, I mean, it just shows, like, that you were so willing, though, to put yourself out there in some type of way, and that it was going to be for something, and, like, that it was so worth it, even from, like, an accountability standpoint, and I think that sometimes that really does come from that you build these habits of showing up for even if it's for a stranger, it's almost easier than family, because family could give you permission to stop, if that makes sense, because they're your
Yeah.
safe place, and so, like, I've put that, like, in race terms quite often, like, I remember at Chicago, I was so glad I didn't see my husband because I was worried I would crumble, and I was like, just even when it hurts, because I knew that he would make it feel like it was okay if I stopped, and so, when you're doing that, in a social media standpoint, it's like your family is like, they're not gonna notice if you stop posting, but
Exactly.
someone that you're inspiring, they would notice, and, like, you're so much more relatable in that sense of, like, you started this from a postpartum, depression standpoint or even just a postpartum standpoint, right? Like, that's very relatable. Starting with a 5K and then also not having an athletic background because you didn't do sports growing up at all, right?
No, not at all. And I used to think like running was just like some form of torture. And I was like, it's funny now. It's like, no, I run for fun now. And people look at me crazy. I feel like a lot of non runners are like, you guys choose this
Mhm.
form of suffering. I'm like, yes, it's the best. When are you going to come on a run with me? Um, Type of thing, But for sure, it's one of those things like being accountable and just being able to like say it out loud. I really believe there's something about like manifesting and saying things out loud. A
Mhm.
lot of times, like you just let these thoughts like percolate in your mind. But when you say it out loud, when you put it out there, there's like a lot of power in that too. And saying, like, I'm going to do XYZ and I'm going to share my progress about that.
I love that, and I agree. Can you take us back to, like, what sparked that first run or, like, like, was it something that was, like, boiling in your mind for a while? Like, "Maybe I wanna try this," or was it just, like, "I wanna run to that
Yes.
point?"
Motherhood is such a wild journey. It is wild, it is beautiful. It's got its highs and its lows. And I think for that phase of my life, like I've talked about it a lot several times on my platform, just like there was a little bit of this feeling of like, I'm kind of disappearing a little bit. You're just so engrossed. And at that time, I had my son was like under one, he's very much still in the infant stage. And I was very engrossed. Like it was a very different experience that I had with my first, my baby right now versus my oldest. And so with my youngest, it was like, wow, there are all these new feelings and different experiences and challenges that I haven't quite had before. And I think at that point, I was looking for something like a way for me to take back a little bit more of my life and myself. And I was just like, I'm going to go outside. Because, first of all, that always helps me is like getting some fresh air and being outside in nature. And it's just one of those things like, I need a little me time too. And I'm just going to go. I'm going to go for this little 5K run and we're going to see what happens. And it was nuts because when I came home, it wasn't like I did a lot of run walking intervals, but I was just so proud of myself. And I had such a sense of accomplishment. Like things could be going totally crazy, but this was something that I could really take back control, and like it was a moment that I can like feel a little bit more like myself, like I'm doing something for myself, which is I think is so important as moms, being able to have self-care and taking care of things for yourself so that way you can take care of the people around you.
It's so true. I think I think a lot of people would relate to the fact that you went through postpartum. That's kind of what brought you to the sport. Because it's like you hit this like rock bottom and you're so desperate for something to get you out of it. And all you feel like is you're sinking and you're sinking and you're sinking and you're I don't know, it's like your lifeline. It's that one last like attempt to like get yourself out and you know that like your children and your family, your spouse, like the whole world around you that you hold up is counting on you to fight, right? And so I'm so curious, like when you ran your first 5K, was that like the moment where you were like, okay, I think this is it? Or was it still like this like feeling of like that sucked? Because 5Ks are freaking brutal. um and you were like, I don't know if I'm for this running thing. Or was it something that just like instantly hooked you and you were like, okay, I'm gonna try this again and again and again. And now here you are, accomplished a marathon.
Yeah, no, it definitely piqued my interest. And there's a lot of people talk about like that whole crossing that finish line and getting like that end of the race high. It is so like it is out of this world. Like for me, it wasn't necessarily about like there wasn't a goal time for me. It was just about finishing the race. And at that point I was like, what's next? Like I want to try more. Like this was really exciting. This was fun. And so I think that just kind of like it just kind of perpetuated that whole feeling and like wanting to see what's the next level. Like what can we do next, girl? Let's see. So for me it just got me really excited to try more distances and like all the different challenges, cuz running, I for me personally, I didn't know that there is so much to running, right? Like there are so many different types of runs, different distances, and for me it was like a whole new world. I was like, wow, this is exciting. Like, I'm gonna see what else I can learn from it?
After you finish your first 5K and when you are like, "Ooh, what's next? Am I gonna do another race?" Did you ever think that within that time frame that you were gonna run a marathon within a year? I mean, 5K to marathon is wild.
I
Like,
know it is kind of intense. You
yeah.
guys have to know I have a bit of like an addictive personality.
Yes.
We're
So
like,
I'm
really?
like,
No.
like it's been a good and a bad thing in my life. So I'm like, at least we're not doing drugs. I mean, I'm kidding, but like
Yeah.
honestly, I didn't think in the moment like I would be like running a marathon. Like I always thought like, wow, that is quite the accomplishment. Like people who run
Yeah.
marathons, that is no joke. Did I think I was going to do it in 12 months? No. I'll be honest. It was just kind of one of those things like I don't know. It just kind of kept snowballing, and it was like, oh, if I can do a half marathon, like I could do, like I'm Delulu. I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to see where it takes me. So I think that was just probably a lot of the excitement of learning the new sport. And my personality is a little bit crazy. So
I love no, I think it's wonderful. I mean, like to put yourself out there because so many people are like, I just don't know if I could ever do that, or I'm not fast enough, or there's like so many doubts that can creep in, especially when you are new to the sport and just feeling like, I mean, do I even belong? I don't know. Like, I didn't know what a good finish time was or what a finish time even like. I don't think anybody ever asked me what I was going for when I did my first marathon. But with doubts, did that ever creep into your mind, like, during a training block or yeah, did you feel like
100%. I was like, did I bite off more than I can chew?
yeah, yeah, really? Mhm.
Because, I think a lot of times, like, I will be just like, I'm so excited for something. And then you get down to the nitty gritty of marathon training. And then you start to realize, like, oh my goodness, this is a lot of miles.
Yeah.
And y'all have to know this. Like, I am not a fast runner, and that's okay. Like, that's fine. But, like, my 16-mile runs take
Yes.
me hours, like
Yes.
literally hours. And like it is something that you really have to make sacrifices for,
Mhm.
especially as a mom, because It's the summer. I don't want to cut into my family's time. I don't wanna run in the heat. So I'm, like, waking up at, like, 3 or 4 in the morning
Yeah.
because I'm so slow as tar. It literally would take me hours, and there were times, especially on my long runs that I was, like, literally questioning if I was gonna DNF because I was like, "Girl, what are we doing out here?" Like, a lot of people train for years so that they can, work on increasing their speed so they're not out here pounding the pavement for 5 hours. Like, what are we doing? But I think it was also very encouraging to have other runners who were like, "Hey, I saw that you did XYZ, and like that was really inspiring for me because I'm a bit of a slower runner too, and now I'm feeling more confident to do those things." So I would get a lot of like support in that sense, and I realized like, hey, there's a lot of like power in being able to share my story with other people and knowing that you can do these hard things too, like no matter what your ability or level of running is.
I
Absolutely.
I just love that so much though because it's so important for people who are, spending so much time on their feet. It I think you see so much, like, fast content, how to get
Mhm.
faster, fast, 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 and that's the majority of the people who feel comfortable enough to share their story, right? Like, "Oh, I got
Yes.
a Boston qualifier on my 3rd try," and it's like, okay, that's super, super cool, but what you're doing is actually the majority, and,
Mhm.
I have talked about this a lot, but I paced my cousin, and she ran a 4-hour, 53-minute marathon, and so we came in, I wanna say, like 300, somewhere in the 300 range out of however many females. Out of and oh, sorry, it was out of, like, 800 something females, which means that there were 500 more females that finished behind us, and I was like, "Wow." Even at the 5-hour mark. Yeah.
Mhm.
And so that's what I'm saying, because I was like, "I wonder what it looks like behind us." Like, we're not, running and looking back, and then to see those numbers, though, so clearly, I was like, "Wow." People finishing and putting out their stories like, "Oh, I got this, I got this." That's not the majority. Like, what you're doing is the majority, and so for people to see that it is such a sacrifice to do marathon training and to take time away from your kids and, to spend all this time on your feet, like, that is people need to see that that's more normal than heading out for 20 miles and it takes 2.5 hours, because that's
Yeah,
realistic for every.
absolutely. Yeah, I think it's so impressive. They're just different hearts, right? Like fast runners, they are working really hard just in different ways.
Mhm.
And so for me, like just being able to share, like, hey, I just went on an 18-mile run and it took me 3.5 hours. Like,
Mhm.
like it's just one of those things, like, you're not alone out there. And I think like more people just need to like be proud of the work that they're doing,
Yeah.
not necessarily just the result, being so result oriented, but just being proud of like the work and the effort that you were putting into training, whatever race it is, that like you shouldn't try to discredit that based off of like your times. Like, no, you're working hard. You should be proud of that for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, and if you zoom out even further, right? So that example, Olivia, that you gave of Las Vegas with that many people still behind your cousin. Now think about it. We're told like less than 1% run a marathon in the world. Like, you guys, there's nothing average about running a marathon at any time, any finish time. Like nothing. I mean, when do we ever get to do something that is less than 1% of what the world can do or has attempted? Like, the marathon is that one opportunity, really. I don't know all the logistics and the stats on everything else in the world, but that's a pretty huge ordeal. And I think when we remind ourselves of that, because social media is filled with a lot of content that does show sub elite, elite, pro, right? But at the end of the day, the vast majority of people that are filling up that start line are not those people. Those people are a very, very, very small fraction of the entire race.
Mhm.
And we've talked about that before. I love that you highlight that, Mel, because it does take so much dedication for your everyday average runner to go out there and plan for a marathon. Training for a marathon is a full-time job, let alone when you put in the fact that you are on your feet for hours when you do these long runs. And we've talked about that too. I remember stumbling upon a reel it was like a week or two ago. This dude, he was like, I think it was like a 5 or 6 hour marathon or somewhere in there. And he said, I'm gonna argue something. I'm gonna say it's harder to run a 5 to 6 hour marathon than it is to run a sub 3. And I was like, I agree. I absolutely agree. I was like, even just running pregnant and having to run slower and get this much amount of miles in within that hour is way less than what I normally do. It is time consuming. It is so much planning. Your fueling looks different. You have to plan all that. Your hydration looks different. It's not done in 2.5 hours. You're out there for you have to dedicate a large portion of time, especially now that you throw in the fact that you have kids. Are they in extracurricular activities? Are they in sports? Like, how am I going to maneuver that? Am I a solo parent for the day? Is my husband at work? Like, there's so much navigation in that process, and I just love that you brought that up because I feel like a lot of runners need to know that there's nothing average about what they're doing showing up at 3 or 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning to make that happen. And so anyways, it just dawned on me. I was like, that's so cool that we get to say we did something that less than the 1% of the world can say they've ever did.
Mhm.
So it's pretty
Yeah, absolutely. It's quite the accomplishment. And I think that's, it's a good and a bad thing about social media is like you can kind of fall in the comparison trap.
Mhm.
But these are definitely extraordinary things that people are doing, being able to run in a marathon, no matter what your time is. And I'm just, that's something that an experience that I'm super grateful for because it was a huge paradigm shift for me, doing the whole training block, not just the race itself, but like the time and commitment it takes to properly train for a marathon. It's quite the learning experience for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely such a testament to how much you love running. Like, I mean, it's very palpable. I think when I watched your like marathon video, it like you obviously seem to be having like a very good time out there. Um, and like I want to definitely go over that with you. But I mean, to spend 3.5 hours for 18 miles on your feet, like you have to love it, right? Like you can't go out there and be hating this. And, especially when you add in the factor that you are a mom, like, at the end of the day, it's like, is it gonna be worth it? Like, do I love this enough to spend the time away from my kids? Like, I've always had to ask myself that enough times to make the mom guilt of it fade away and, like, the comparisons and all of that because it's such a mental game too to train for things like this, and for you to do it in within a year, it just really goes to show that you tried running and you loved it, and so you've kept with it, which is so, so, so cool. And I'm so curious what your support looked like
Mhm.
with was your husband, was he surprised by this, or was he like, "You go out and do this, I've got the kids," or was it a lot of scheduling conflicts?
Yeah, I've been very fortunate to have a very supportive system. And like a lot of times people don't see them. Like I have my husband and my extended family. They were very on board. I think they were like, wow, that's a little bit crazy. Like,
Yeah.
you want to run a what? How many miles is that?
What?
Like, a lot of people don't even know what the distance is for a marathon. And it's funny too, because like, this, like it's 9 in the morning. You already have like 40,000 steps and like you still have a full day ahead of you.
Yes.
And your kids don't know that you just ran like double digit miles. They don't care. They're like, get over here and get to work, lady. Like, but I was really fortunate to just have a really supportive, like my husband was very on board. And I don't think we both didn't know like what I was signing up for until we got into the thick of it. But yeah, like, I would be spending sometimes hours away. And even if it didn't cut into our morning very much, like I would come back and it's like, I need a nap, y'all. Like,
Yes.
I'm tired. Like,
Yes.
can you
A
like
nap
hold
is
down the
soon.
fort a little longer?
Yeah.
Just a little bit longer? Cause like now I need a nap. Like, there's a lot of sacrifices that he made and just like I would just ask for help. Like, hey, I'm gonna ask my in-laws, like, can you guys watch the kids? Like, I need to go for a run. I'm training for a marathon. And they were just so supportive for that. But yeah, lots of just, as a mom, you make it work. Like sometimes it's late at night, sometimes it's on a treadmill, it looks so different for everyone. But for me, it was just a lot of like I had to get up early, and just we're gonna have a party. And it's weird because I've never been a morning person, But now I have become a morning person, like, it's 5 in the morning and I'm ready to party, like, who am I, you know?
I
Like,
know, it's so true.
bumping my music, I'm like,
I
"Let's
know.
go."
Oh,
Gonna have a rave at 6 a.m.
yeah.
Let's hit it.
And the whole neighborhood is gonna hear it too.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure people too have just like, because I've just gotten to the point too where I'm like running, I've got my phone out, I'm like jamming and dancing, and they're like, "Is she okay?"
Yes.
I'm like, "No, I'm not. That's why I'm out here. Like, let me be."
No, I'm
Exactly.
not. So relatable.
I'm like,
Oh my gosh. Okay, I kind of want to pull it back to your background because I can't help but think it's not just delusion that got you across 26.2 miles. I have to like imagine just hearing from your bio just who you are and how you were raised also stems into your work ethic and your discipline and your drive. So you mentioned you were kind of more on the the scholastic side, like very into education. You called yourself a nerd, which I mean, if you wanna call somebody smart a nerd, we'll go ahead and go with
"Hey, I'll
that.
take it."
I saw that you did have a degree in college, so, there's just, like there's so many things that make you who you are, and I think it's very beautiful because it shows that you've had this work ethic to you at a very young age, and I wonder if it often stemmed from, like, your parents. You mentioned that your parents you guys lived in Hawaii, and you got
Mhm.
outpriced in Hawaii, and it brought you to Utah, brought you to the United States. I kind of want to just talk about like what that was like going through that, like, because that's a lot for a kid to try to process, when your parents, they're like, we can't afford to live here anymore. What was going through like your mind, and then how did you feel like settling into the United States? It's unknown, culture, it's an unknown environment, and just your habits that you built through school as you got older, um, do you feel like that was part of what created your work ethic now?
Yeah, 100%. I've talked about that before. Like, I am a daughter of immigrants. Both of
Yes.
my parents are they're not native to this country. They're Tongans. They're from a really small Pacific island country, and they came to the US, and I just remember growing up seeing my dad work all the time. My mom she was a stay-at-home mom. So she worked really hard in a different sense. But my dad was like hustling a lot between different jobs and just trying so hard to make ends meet for our family. That's what eventually drove us out of Hawaii because it's just such an expensive place to live, and we're here in Utah now. But for sure, like watching my parents, they had sacrificed, and I just can't imagine now being an adult and a parent. There's a lot of braveness it takes to pick yourself up, move yourself to a completely different country, language, customs, and you're just working so hard with, the skills and abilities that you have, trying to make opportunities and kids to have these dreams. And for me, I never wanted to take that for granted. So as a young person, like I saw all of the work that my parents made to try to give us these opportunities in America. And for me, it just felt like it would it would be so disrespectful of me to like not try to do my best. So I feel like that is a lot of what has carried me through life, including running, because it's just something that has really driven me to like try to do my best and give it my all, because I am literally standing on the backs of lots of different people who have worked really hard to try to give me this opportunity in this life that I'm living now, for sure.
Did you ever
Like,
Sorry. Did you ever feel like pressure from that? Like feeling like you had to represent your culture here, making sure that you fit all those narratives and all those boxes for them to represent them fully, but also to represent your parents. Like, was that ever hard for you as like I mean, you were really young when this all started when you first moved here. I mean, I think about just the pressure of my own parents, and they're not immigrants here, and how much like representing them. I remember my dad said one thing to me one time in high school, and it was never like spanking me or anything that ever like got me to do something right, because I was a pretty rambunctious teenager. But all he had to say was, I'm so disappointed. And those words, even as a 33-year-old, still sit with me. And so I think about like just that weight that you had to carry at a very young age, and no knock to your parents because they were doing everything they possibly can to provide a beautiful life for you guys. And even their grandchildren to come, right? Generations to come. I'm sure they've thought about that all through this process and how hard of a move that was for them to come here. But as a child, was that ever hard? Did that feel like you ever were carrying the world trying to like, because you talk about not fitting in these boxes, and I wonder if there's just like this sense of like feeling like you just can't win everything for everyone.
Oh, for sure. I am the eldest daughter.
There you go.
So I think a lot of people know what that's like, just feeling the pressure. There's just a lot of different pressures that I felt in my life. And at a very young age, I was like very cognizant of these things. Like, oh my goodness, I am a Tongan, but I'm an American. I'm having to explain to my parents a lot of these different Western things that are very different from Tongan values, vice versa. And it was a lot. I mean, I'm not going to like try to downplay that, but I just don't like to play the victim mentality either. But it was very challenging. I mean, I just felt like sometimes I was never good enough, like I'm trying so hard to like fit in these different things, but I'm not. And it's not, it doesn't feel good, but anyways,
Do you
it's just a lot.
do you feel
It,
like
it was a lot.
do you feel like running gave you back some of that power of like, wow, I am proud of myself. Like I finally feel like I have something that I'm just like, I did that and I finished that and I completed that, and like a sense of satisfaction from all these years of feeling like you didn't feel like you were checking those boxes?
Yeah, for sure. It definitely was very freeing because in those moments as I was running, I wasn't the Tongan. I wasn't the American. I wasn't this mom or like all these different hats that we all wear as people, right? It was just me. I'm just running. I'm trying to get this workout done. I'm training for something. It definitely helped me feel like I was taking back a little bit more power of like who I am and like what I'm trying to accomplish. It was, something that I still work on daily. Like, yeah, this is something that's mine, me. And I don't need to make it satisfactory or make sense to anyone. Running is it's my own thing for sure.
I love that so much.
I love it. I know I feel like you've been able to almost, like, rebuild your own identity through running, but also through motherhood at the same time, and that they've been able to be interwoven within each other, especially since you've had your second child. And I think that's such a beautiful thing. And you get to do it on your own terms and your own timeline, which I think is so beautiful. And yeah, I mean, it's hard to imagine just what it was like, especially coming to Utah. Where we are at in Southern Utah, it's not very diverse at all, and so I imagine it would be really hard to find other people that could relate, and that always like, and then you also don't always want to just relate on this one thing, like, you wanna be a child, you
Yes.
know? Like, it's so hard, it's you don't I don't know, I always imagine, like, that would be such a difficult conversation, like, "Oh, look, they're from an immigrant family too. Me too. I wonder what cultural things we share," I'm sure it's not like you wanna constantly be like that, you probably want to be a teenager, you want to enjoy these things, but then you also go home and have to be, you know, a little bit more grown up than you probably wanted to be in a lot of ways, and then as you go into college and everything, it's so hard because in college, you're trying to find your own identity, and so I'm sure that as you became a mom, that you were able to stack all these things and finally be able to do them on your own terms, and then as a runner now, it is so freeing, like, you're just not tied to any any of these things, like, whether you played sports or not, like, whether you were a runner or not, and whether you are a creative or not, like, when you're running, like, we all start on the same start line, and then we all get to experience whatever it is that we actually need to experience out there, and I think that's the shared common thread between all of it, and then once you add motherhood on top of it, it's like we all did that and we're gonna go home and take care of all these little people that we've made, which is so crazy to think about, and it's such a beautiful thing to be able to find that, like, shared common thread between us all, but yeah,
No, definitely. There's like that. It's just like the vibe. Like you see other mother runners and you can definitely relate to the different struggles,
mhm.
the different responsibilities that we are all having to carry in our home and in our communities. But it's, the running is that one thing. It's like if you know, you know. And like
It's
Yeah.
it's
true.
so hard to like explain, but it's like, yeah, I get you for sure. Like go for that run, mama. Like have a good time.
Yes.
Well, and I think running, like, a lot of us cling to it because of specific traumas that we go through in our lives too, and whether, that's obviously diverse between every single person that you'll cross paths with, but I think that common thread too is the fact that, like, we're all kind of, like, using running as our mental outlet in a sense too, and it helps us to process a lot of things that we've gone through in our lives, and I think that's where there's, like, a shared connection, and I think that's why the start line is so special. When you look around, you see everybody around you, all I can think is, like, what's their story? Like, why are they
Right?
here today? Why did they sign up for this race at this time in the morning to freeze their butts off at the start line to go run 13, 14, or however many miles we're running that day, right? And then the fact that we all get to cross the finish line and feel that same satisfaction of like self pride that, like, on a bad day, even on a day that you don't PR, even on a day that you're not proud of the finish line clock time, like we all get to feel that experience of crossing the finish line of something that we accomplished, the distance. And I just think it's so cool, like in running, that we get to share that with all levels of runners.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's such a unique atmosphere. It's like you pull up to the race line and there's just like a lot of buzz and you can just feel that, like a little bit of like fear, excitement, like there's just a lot of like mixed emotions. But I agree with Shanna, it would be so cool to just talk to other people. And a lot of times when, like, especially on my marathon, I was just yakking with anyone and everyone.
Yes.
I'm sure people were like, please be quiet, like I'm actually trying to run out here. But
Yes.
I would just pull up and I'd be like, so what brought you out here today, like what got you into running? And they're like, well, I would like to run my race, but you just keep talking. But it is so unique. And when you talk to a lot of runners, it's so interesting because there is such a common thread of people who run for like therapeutic reasons.
Yeah.
Like whatever it is that they're experiencing in their life, it is a form of like therapy for a lot of us. And I'm just like, you go for it. Like I'm out here too. So we out here doing it for sure.
Yeah. Well, I kinda wanna dive into your marriage. It sounds like you have a very, very supportive spouse. I'm curious how you guys met. You talk him up as this, like, athletic hunk of a dude. How did you 2 meet? And then I'm curious to, like, what was that dynamic like, working through? Because I know, like, you already have all these boxes, right? You don't check. And you're like, "All right, now throw the husband in there that doesn't check the box of the narrative that I'm
Yeah,
supposed to fit," right?
a
And so
100%.
I'm sure it just yeah, I feel like you just have like that your life is all meant to just not fit the box, and I love that I feel like you're embracing that finally, like, I'm just not meant to fit
Yes,
the box, and I'm not gonna fit myself in a box, so, yeah,
absolutely not.
tell us the
I don't like
backstory.
boxes. Yeah, so my husband, so he is someone, he is just like overly confident, first of all. We were at the University of Utah and like we were like switching classes, like we were in the common thread area. He saw me, he came up and he was just like, "What's up?" And I was like, "Excuse me." "Excuse me, sir," and he was just very forward. He's a very forward type of personality and he's like, "You're really cute. I want your number if you're single." And like, I was just kind of taken aback because I was like, "Excuse me, like, who is this dude harassing me?" But like, he's also kind of cute. And he had like his rugby jacket on.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Do you play rugby?" And I was like, "Oh, immediate yes."
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and text me, white boy. It's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine. You can text me. But like, I feel kind of bad too because like his best friends growing up were Polynesian.
Yeah.
So he had in his mind this experience with Polynesians, and he's like, this cute Tongan girl, I'm gonna start dating her, and it's gonna be a good time. Polys are a good time, right? We did not have that experience completely, Like, there was a little bit of tension and drama, like, when we started dating, like, not to throw anyone in my family under the bus, but they were just like, "Who is this white guy knocking on
Yeah.
our door?" Like, "Meliana, like, there's some white dude here for you."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, I'm dating him." And they're like, "What?" Just kind of like, "Okay." And then, like, the more serious we got, like, I think this happens with anyone who's dating. When you're trying to, like, understand each other's cultures and, like, trying to understand different family dynamics and things like that. It was very different, though, for us because, my family, they're very conservative by background, just like the Tongan culture is very conservative. And they were like, "Okay, so there's this white guy, and, like, does he understand these different cultural things?" And I had to teach him, and some people didn't like certain things. Like, it was a lot. It was a lot, honestly. There was a lot of conflict, but, love always wins, and haters gonna hate, and then, that happens too. And it was kind of surprising because it was like, wait, we are, like, in modern times and we're still getting, like, pushback from people. It was really weird and odd for us at first because it was like I only hear about this in movies. Like, I didn't think I
Yes.
didn't think this would really happen,
Yeah.
that, like, people would be, like, kind of mean. And, like, honestly, it was just like there were a couple times where our relationships were really on the rocks because of these issues that we were having to work through. Like, hey, like, this doesn't really fly. Like, how do we make this drive? How do we make our own culture that works for us? It doesn't matter what these people or those people say. Like, let's do what works for us. So we had a lot of conversations. And
Yeah.
we still do. We still do now.
Well, I'm sure with your kids too, like them growing up and having to explain, like, you are Tongan and you're American. Like you get to share both these cultures and it's a beautiful thing. But it is a lot to probably navigate to feel like you have to fit one or the other. Like which club are we gonna choose, and feeling like you're just always in the middle of both representation. But I love that you guys just stuck it through, and I know that your parents probably just had the best interest for you. They want the best. Any parent that cares about their kids, they just want the best for their kid, right? But at the end of the day, you continue to just show this sense of confidence in your decisions and who you are as a individual and claiming what you deserve and need and want in life. And that speaks beyond your running world. And I think that's just so cool. It makes you such a whole person beyond just the social media world. And I love that your story just has so much you've had to navigate through, not just on the roads with your shoes laced up, but so much before that, that really made probably that whole marathon thing seem easy in the long scheme of what you've had to endure in your life.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. We all, the challenges, they don't break us, they make us, and they just help us learn and grow. And we take those experiences into different ones, including marathon training. So yeah, for sure. The marathon training, it was hard though. I'm not gonna try to downplay that. That is a beast in itself, but always something to learn and grow from for sure.
Do you think your husband would run one with you?
I don't know. I always kind of joke with him because we're not small people by any means. But I'm always like, you're kind of fast for like a big dude. Like,
He's like, all that rugby practice, man.
I'm not trying to be mean, honey, but like, you can really kind of move because he's a big guy, And I'm like, I always am trying to like encourage him, like, to also challenge these, why do you think you can't be a runner? Oh, because I'm used to contact sports. That's my forte. But I'm like, anyone can be a runner, including you. But I would love for him to try a full one day. It's just right now in his phase of life, he's just so busy. It's
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, and
definitely.
he wants to give it like the proper time that it needs. But maybe someday, I don't know. I think it'd be so fun to run together as
It
a couple.
would,
I
yeah.
know I would slow him down for sure, but, like, it's okay, we can run for vibes.
Yeah, exactly. You mentioned that you're a big book, like, person. So when you're out on your runs, are you an audiobook or are you a vibe by music type person?
I'm usually a music person. I
Yeah.
get so distracted, like, with books and podcasts, like, I start to slow down a little more,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Girl, we're, like, hitting 15-minute miles, like, we need to pick up the pace, turn on Kesha, and let's go," you
Oh
know?
my
Kesha.
god.
But for sure, what about you guys? Are you guys, like, a podcast, book, or music
A
type
mix of
person?
both for
Depends, yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's like a easy run, I definitely have to turn on the audiobook. Otherwise, that Eminem 2000s remix, it will have me running too fast.
Right? Isn't
Yeah.
that so funny too? It's like our music from our club has just transitioned
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
running playlist for sure. It's like, see, we still out here jamming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty comical now because I feel like I'm, like, out there with this big old belly, and I have Eminem cussing in the back of my sports bra, and I'm running not very fast, and I'm just like, "Hi, good morning." People probably just think I'm a scene to watch.
Oh my god.
No, I love that. I love that you're still running though, out here smashing things, even being pregnant, Shanna.
No.
Like, wow.
It's true. It's so impressive. It's awesome. Yeah, I love listening to audiobooks. It's funny because like podcasts I can't really do anymore because either I listen to really funny podcasts and so then I just spend a lot of time laughing and like to myself. I keep doing that and so I'm like, okay, stop doing that. But then I listen to crime and I don't want to listen to crime while I'm running, so then I listen to audiobooks. But even then, like last week I was like so into the story and I'm just like running so fast. I was like, well, you are way too into this. You're gonna miss these characters too much. So kind of just depends, you know?
I think that is so funny. The crime podcast, because I used to do those too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know this, like sometimes when you're running, you're out there by yourself and
Oh
then
my god.
they'll be
Yeah.
talking about things and you're like looking
Yeah.
around your shoulder, your back, and you're like, I gotta
Yeah.
change it. I gotta change it. I'm
Broad
scaring
daylight too.
myself.
I'm like, they could find my body in that pond. Yeah, I
I
do know.
know. It's like, I don't want this run to turn into some murder mystery later, you
Yeah,
know, like,
exactly. Too paranoid. Like I'm like, I didn't even end up enjoying either the podcast or the run. So
yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
for sure.
Well, I'm curious now that you have your kids, what kind of like what's you and your husband's goal like as far as like the family dynamic, like the legacy you want to create for them and like your own family culture. Like what is something that means a lot to you? And I feel like a lot of your running is probably just showcasing to them that they can take up space in places that they probably can't. But I'm curious, yeah, I'm curious to hear like what you guys want to emulate for your children.
For sure, I want them to know that like you can do anything. And I think that is something that I felt like I kind of lost a little bit because it's like before having kids, I was a whole person with interests, hobbies, and goals. And then suddenly I had kids, and it was like, okay, this is the chapter of life we're in, and I'm all about my kids, and I love that. But I want them to know that, like, the pursuit of like your dreams and happiness is an ongoing process. It may look different in different phases of your life, but you should constantly be working towards your happiness and whatever those dreams and goals that can help you reach that, like you should go after them. It's okay to be a parent
Yeah.
and still train for a marathon. It's okay to pursue a career and do other things. Like, I just don't want them to feel like they're limited to do things because that's just how it's done or that's what everyone else does. Like, if there's something that you're interested in doing, then go for it. Don't impose ceilings in your mind. Like, just go after it and see what happens.
I love that. I think that's beautiful. I'm curious what's next for you. Like, what do you have on the horizon?
Well, we did a lot of races last year.
Yeah.
And then, like, suddenly this year, I don't have anything on the docket, which is like very weird because it's like usually I have something like on the schedule. But yesterday, me and my friends are signing up for our first like triathlon in
Wow.
3 weeks. Okay, but listen,
Oh
it's
my
not,
god.
it's like, and now I'm saying it out loud, so I really do have to do it. Oh man, that's funny. It's like an indoor like I have
Oh,
never
cool.
like done that, but I've always said like, oh, that would be kind of cool and fun. So one of our friends, Kat, she's an amazing athlete. She does it all. And she's like, you guys should sign up. It's like this little local triathlon event that they do. And she's like, it's so fun. It's like time based and it's like very low stress. It's like it's a good entry level type of event. So I guess that's what I've got next on the docket in 3 weeks. I don't know,
That's
guys.
awesome.
That's so
I
cool.
I'm about to find out because here's the thing. I am Polynesian, but I'm not a fish. Like I'm really not a fish. And so
I
they're like,
can't swim, so
I was like, Kat, like you expect me to swim? She's like, yeah, you got to do some laps. I'm like, I am going to sink. I am going to sink. So I guess I need to go and get in the pool at some point and start working on that. Cause I'm like, the running we can do. We could do that. We can do the
yeah,
cycling, but the swimming, I'm like, ooh.
That's how I feel about it
Oh,
too. I can do
yeah.
those too, but no. Like, especially what if I just wash my hair? What if I just did my lashes? I can get in a
girl,
pool.
I'm saying, I'm like sitting here too, and I was thinking, like, wow, my lash extensions are gonna be like drenched. And
I
like,
know. I know. Trust
you
me.
know, the girly things I'm thinking about,
That's
but like
me too.
the fun thing though is like I am getting to do it with my friends. So like we'll just have a good time anyways.
It's
But
gonna be really fun. No, that's gonna
I
be
don't know.
great. That's so
Well,
awesome.
we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
That's
But
so
I'm
fun.
excited for that. But yeah, I don't know. I have been talking about wanting to possibly grow our family, and this is
Wow.
why, Shanna, I have really loved watching this last chapter of your life because I haven't been a runner and been pregnant before.
Yeah.
So it seems like a little bit of an intimidating thing for me, but we'll see what happens as far as that area of life.
Oh, that's
That's so
awesome.
exciting. Well, if it makes
But
you feel better, I didn't run like this through all my other pregnancies, so
I know.
it
How does
is
it feel running this deep into your pregnancy? Like, has your body just like gotten the message like you're gonna do it? So get in line. Like,
it
how has that worked out for you?
it's not fun. It's not fun. I don't know. I plan on making a post more about that more recently. It's not the most comfortable, and I mean, you're definitely navigating a lot, right? Like you're navigating different pace changes and your body fluctuating and how it looks and reminding yourself that like growing a human is still so badass. Like, it's like a tug of war in your mind. And I feel like a lot of moms experience that in and outside of pregnancy, even on the postpartum side, right? And so it's a lot, but I mean, it's also really cool to just be able to see your body still continue to show up, even if it's on the bike or you're walking or I've never like I've never been so proud to walk up a hill pregnant, like, but I'm
As you
I'm
should be, for
hitting that
sure.
point, and it's like, it's putting this sense of pride aside and remind yourself, like, why we do the sport to begin with, and it is so much for internally, like, what we're going through, what we're dealing with, like, for ourselves, and I think it just, like, it takes you a full circle back to that when you're in the pregnant because 'cause you're just so vulnerable to a lot that you can't control, you know? So, but I'm excited for you. If that really it does feel like what's right for you, I have no doubt you'll be out there doing something. So,
Yeah, for sure. I'm like, I think pregnancy is just such a beautiful thing, and
yeah.
women are literally giving life out here. So the fact that you're out there doing it, you're so inspiring to so many other women that are like, even if you can't run, but just having that sense of movement and being able to like still take care of yourself, especially more so as pregnant. You know,
Oh.
I
Mhm.
think it's awesome.
Well,
What
you
about you guys? What's next for you guys? I want to know, like,
Oh,
what's on the
I feel
docket?
like Olivia needs to talk because she probably has
Yeah.
a lot more on her radar than I do.
You you don't wanna talk about your triathlon you wanna do?
Oh, no, 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 no. You're not seeing me in the pool. I will sink.
We're just
I'll be
doing a
the
relay
anchor.
and you can do the swim.
Yeah, no.
I would sign you up for that. Um, no. I just have a half coming up and no, I'm just kind of taking it, like, week by week, basically, as far as races go, and if there's one that aligns with, like, a weekend where my husband is off or something, then I will hopefully be able to jump into it, and, yeah, I have the half, and then I'm doing a
She's
track
like, "I'm not gonna
5K.
mention it."
You are? That
Yes.
is
Yeah.
amazing. Is this your like first one?
Yeah, I
Girl,
talk a
that's
lot about we've
exciting.
never, like, gone on the track before, but I think it'll just be so fun. It's like a fundraiser, so it's open for everyone, and then so I'm hoping that there will be some fast people to, like, string me along even if it's only for that first mile, and, yeah, so that should be fun just to go and try it out. I've been joking around about bedazzling the buns for it.
You should. You should. That would be fun.
I keep asking ChatGPT to show me some bedazzled pink buns.
You better rep it.
So
That is so exciting. That's awesome. Trying new experiences. Like the track is legit scary for me.
oh,
I'm
it's
Yeah.
like,
legit scary.
this is all about speed, and I am not about that. But
Listen,
it's good.
me
It's good.
too.
I feel like I need to do more of those, honestly.
I'm just so excited. I feel like I would have probably never even looked to try it. I mean, yeah, I can't say that I ever would have even tried it until Shanna was like, "Yeah, you can just do them." And I was like, "Oh, well, that's so cool. I should really give that a shot and just like e- I mean, it'll be fun either way, no matter how it turns out, just to have like given it a shot and at least I'll know that I have fulfilled this one thing that I'm always like, wow, cuz I've watched shows about, track runners and things like that. And I'm like, it's weird to never have tried that ever, ever, ever. Like in high school or anything like that. And so to just be able to try new things. And that's what I love about running is that we do have access to this kind of thing. Like we get to experience elite level things as normal people.
Oh, 100%. I just went to my first track meet like last week, and I did like all of the cute little drills and stuff.
That's
And I
so
was
cool.
like, this is so awesome. Like,
Yeah.
you're a track star, you're a runner, Olivia. You're going to crush it.
Yeah.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Now I'm gonna have that song stuck in my head.
Yeah.
That's the one. That's the one for you, girl.
Oh my gosh. Mel, we appreciate you so much sharing your story and even I mean, I feel like we just barely scratched the surface of it, to be honest with you, but just for coming on here, sharing with us, being vulnerable, like we appreciate it so much and I can't wait for this episode to air and just keep sharing your journey because I'm telling you, it touches so many people. Even you shared a reel the other day about going to a woo-woo class.
Oh, not the woo woo class.
And I
People
was
are like,
like,
what's a woo woo class? I was like, the one where they're jumping around and they go woo woo. Woo, woo. I love it. I'm like, I pull up in there. I'm like, hello.
yeah.
How are you fine women today?
Oh, I love it. You're dressed in this cute outfit, your hair is down, and you're just
She
dancing. And
always has the cutest outfits, I
I
swear.
know.
Well,
It's
you
so
know what
true.
they
The
say, look
prettiest.
good,
Feel good.
feel good, run good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But it's just like putting yourself out there and I just love it so much and I love seeing that and just you being a part of it is so important like I don't know, you posted that reel a couple days ago and it's still stuck in my head and I love that. So,
Well,
um
thank you.
yeah, just keep doing you and just know you're inspiring so many people and again, it just gives people permission to take up space even if they feel like they don't belong and that like you really are representing that there is space for everyone. And then to our listeners, thank you all for listening. We appreciate you all so much. And again, if you can rate, subscribe, and share, we love that and appreciate it. And if you have a mama
Share this
shout out,
episode.
yeah, share
Share
this
this
episode.
episode.
Exactly. And if you have another mom shout out, we appreciate them so much. And another shout out to that mom with the triple stroller. She's going to be in my head today while I'm out there. I don't have to push a stroller today. So
Amazing. Incredible. She is like, I'm going to have her in my mind for my
I
next
know.
workout. Like,
Yeah.
why are you struggling? Because that
Yeah.
boss is like pushing 3 kids. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. Y-
Mel, where can people find you on social media?
Uh, you can find me at mel.runningfitness. We out here.
Go join her for a race.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
thank you. Thank you for having me, you guys. It's been so fun. I feel like we're just a bunch of girls catching up, chatting.
That's exactly what
Yep.
this is. Oh, well, thank you so much and bye.
Bye.
Bye.